Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Keith Haring playing cards by Theory 11 and the Keith Haring Foundation. Keith Haring was a artist that was popular in New York City during the subculture of graffiti art, and he grew this reputation for animated style graffiti art. And this features some of that art. Some of it does not feature because they're not going to put it on a deck of cards based on the content. But when you look at the box, you'll see that is his name, Keith Haring, signed. Premium playing cards. Then there's a heart and these two stylized people. And then a border going around with stylized people. This same type of people that you will see throughout the whole deck. On the back, you will see a bunch of that stylized as well with the heart and a seal here. On the side, you will see Keith Haring playing cards. As well as on the other side, you will see Keith Haring with some of with the Theory 11 logo and his signature. You also see Theory 11 on the bottom. Keith Haring Foundation, licensed by Artist Star, New York. And when you open the deck, first you will see inside the box, you will see continued colors like this orange. There's orange, green, blue, yellow. And there's also these drawings continued through there. And then you get to the Jokers. There are these two Jokers. One is a blockhead with, again, the yellow, the blue, and the orange. And the other one is also a square, but is this three-headed or three-eyed beast. Then you see the American flag with these men jumping around it for the ace of spades. Then the rest of the spades up until the court cards are standard in that there is no added design, but the pips are slightly different and the configuration is different. And then you get to the court cards, and you'll see the Jack has two of them, the Queen has two of them, but they're on top of each other. And then the King has three of them. So it kind of like gets it gets larger, right? So the Jack is the smallest area, then the Queen, and then the King as far as how many people there are volume-wise. Then you get to the Ace of Diamonds, and you see what I would consider the outline of a red, I would say, wolf with these two blue men riding him. Then the same with the diamonds. There's a slightly different coloration, but not too noticeable. And then the shape of the pips are different, as well as slightly different configuration. Then you get to the diamonds. It is, again, this like wolf-ish creature is what I would consider it. And there's two for the Queen. Then there's a completely different one for the King that seems like it's morphed from the previous ones. Then you get to the King of Clubs, and you'll see these two interlocking people on both of these. And right, as you can see, this is the arrow with, or the circle with the arrow. This is the circle with the cross. Both of these have been looked at as representing different, both female versus male. And then here's the Queen, right, holding up, holding up these two kids, I would imagine, on the feet. Here's the Jack. Right, a baby crawling. Then the 10 and all the way through down to the ace are normal. And then when you get to the ace, it's again this square with the Keith Haring and these three flowers. Right, clubs, three, right. Then there's the King of Hearts. These three people holding up this heart, this big heart. Same with the Queen, two people, Jack, right. So there is differential between the court cards. However, they are not pictures, and same with the aces, right? You can tell which ace it is, but right, this has a heart within the square. But they don't just have a spade, or it's not clear that it's necessarily the spade, right? Or the club, for example, right? You can see I see the resemblance, or I can see why they did it, or say for the diamond here, right? There's no diamond anywhere. And the spade, there's no spade anywhere, but they are all different, right? So it's not like the aces are the same. And then you get to the other cards, and there is these, what I would assume are now colors reminiscent of him. Right, there's red, blue, yellow, and green. Then there's another stylistic choice here. And I say reminiscent of him because he has since passed. He died in 1990, and he was known for being an advocate for AIDS awareness, and just general health. and he did actually die from AIDS in the 90s. Then you get to the back design, which is a borderless back design, and it is, I was going to say it's a repeating design. It's not really a repeating design. It's a combination of these babies crawling and then these larger humans with hearts on the inside. But it is borderless, but if you were to flip around a card, so say I take the King of Clubs and I flip it around, you can spread and you can see, oh, this is the King of Clubs, because it's very different, because it is not a mirrored back. Meaning you can't just mirror it. But this is the back design. It's very artsy. Of course, as far as handling goes, it handles very nicely because it is printed by the United States Playing Card Company. And on the back of these cards, I also realized it just says some information about Theory 11, which is where I got this, right? www.theory11.com. Right, and it says a little ad copy here that you guys can read if you guys like. There's a red and a blue, but they both say the same thing. But yeah, it handles nicely. It's a nice deck of cards, and it follows kind of in suit of some of the other decks of cards that I've been reviewing recently, in that it brings light to artists. And there's a couple other decks of cards from Theory 11 that I will be reviewing soon that, bring light to artists that I didn't know. The previous ones I did, right, Basquiat and Notorious B.I.G., you can check those videos out. I knew about those, but say Keith Haring, I didn't know, right? Obviously, he died before I was born, and I just wasn't involved in that type of art. So I like that Theory 11 is now collaborating with the estates or the foundations under these artists, right? There are some that they've come out with people that are still living, right? But obviously, Notorious B.I.G., Basquiat, Keith Haring, they have all since died. And it kind of brings light to them and their work, right? It made me figure out who this person was, and some of the work that he did, and some of the drawings he did in regards to awareness for these different things. Yeah, so it's a very interesting deck of cards. It has lots of cartoonish, obviously, graffiti-like art, which I like that with this collaboration that Theory 11 has been doing with previous decks, with other entities, it's kind of resulted in very unique decks of cards, right? It's not it's a different color bicycle deck, or it's a variation on the bicycle deck, but it is like completely different, right? Is it art repeating like this? It reminds me actually kind of a deck I have not reviewed on this channel, but the Panda playing cards. It's a bicycle deck that has pandas, different variations of pandas repeating over, and I might actually review this deck in the near future. But it reminds me of that, very artsy, and I think that is something that you see continuing with playing cards, is going less so from the focused on it being a utilitarian performing deck, and more like, oh, this is a cool design, we're going to put it on a deck of cards, and it gives it a new medium. So with that said, I like this deck of cards. I like what Theory 11 has been doing lately with these decks of cards that they've been coming out with in the collaborations. So if you like this video, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.